this thing called Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. I can't remember exactly who it was, but it's like some of the people involved in GamerGate, they didn't just disappear. They went off into corporate jobs related to DEI, and they now run companies that are contracted out specifically for DEI. So Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative improvement resource. I think actually this one describes it best. The CEO is Kim Belair, and it says, my guest for this episode is Kim Belair, a video game narrative writer and CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a black and queer-owned narrative development company based in Montreal, working with AAA and independent games. So her job as a gay black woman is to improve the narrative experience of video games. However, some gamers decided, hey, this company is involved in a lot of games that had very unsatisfying narratives. So, like for instance, Alan Wake 2's character being a black woman randomly was something that people pointed out to. That seemed like a last minute change. It seemed like a role that was written for a white man, and then they just randomly swapped him out to be a black woman at the last second. So people blame that on Sweet Baby Inc. However, they deny that, and but that didn't stop them from making a Steam group. As you can see, Sweet Baby Inc. Detected now has over 220,000 followers, and is one of the fastest growing Steam groups that have ever been created. And it's simply a list of games. I mean, there's 16 of them, 16 games that they know for sure that Sweet Baby Inc. had a hand in improving the narrative experience of. And that's all it is. But this also, they had a forum, and then after, so I'll save that for a bit. So this resulted in a woman named Alyssa Mercant in Kotaku, the famous Kotaku that was also heavily involved in sweeping it up for the original Gamergate, wrote a huge article about how gamers are simply wrong. This is one of the games where I think they put more clothes on the woman for the Western release because the Western markets are like more sensitive to like titty ladies running around and shit. And this was blamed on Sweet Baby Inc. There's a part where they specifically mention Kiwi Farms, I think twice. I think they might have edited this. Oh, they did. Oh, wait, she spells Kiwi Farms in, okay, so she spells Kiwi Farms as two words correctly one spot, and then says it as one word in a different spot. The Kiwi Farms post used to be a link to the actual Kiwi Farms, specifically our thread on Sweet Baby Inc., which existed 3 days after V started talking about it. So it's really interesting because this author was trying to, and still is, just doesn't link directly to the Kiwi Farms anymore. They removed the link. Trying to poison the well, and it's so obvious what they're trying to do, because obviously the Kiwi Farms did not, in the 20-page thread on Sweet Baby Inc. did not start this, and it was so obvious that even Asmongold was able to identify this.
And let's see here, a 2023 Kiwi. The Steam group now has over 100,000 followers in its own Discord, boasts nearly 2,000 members, but its ire against Sweet Baby Inc. and its diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives in general isn't new. October 2023, Kiwi Farms posts a similar sentiment. So what they're doing right here is, so Kiwi Farms is like just basically a, you know, like it's a lolcow website where they just like have different threads about different content creators, etc., and they don't like different people. So what she's trying to do here is that she's trying to compare them to a group that is already seen in a negative light by and then by extension of that make them look like they are also those same people, because there are a lot of people that have negative feelings about companies like Sweet Baby Inc. But why is it that they compared her explicitly to Kiwi Farms? Well, it's very simple. It's because that's the one that people that watch and read these articles will think, oh, it's like Kiwi Farms, that means it's bad. You see what I'm saying? Even though I only know Asmongold from pulling a cockroach off his shirt, even he, a man who lives in filth, literally homes with cockroaches, is able to look at this article and immediately identify that it is a smear campaign designed to take this existing thing and make it relate to this other thing that people already don't like. Someone even posted this video in response to this on Twitter. I'll just play this real quick.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind." In 1943, the following direct...
But yeah, that's like it's obvious what she's up to. I don't know if it's a him or her, but it's Felix at Home at Lego Butts, who I think is a name. Oh yeah, this is a GamerGate name. So these are old GamerGate posts, but also this is a person who works high up at the company. He or she says, "Pay me to shoot down your white male lead game ideas. I usually get grossed out when straight, white, rich people kiss, but I think those two are pretty cute. I just had a thought about trying this again with a photo of a young white person, but about to be ripped open. But I'm betting folks will immediately flag it as traumatic, and I'm guessing the image would get taken down before responses accumulated. I had a nightmare that I was a white male gamer." And this is a quote saying, "We have to look at the story and narrative as one of the things we can innovate on. Like, you bring someone in from a different culture, from a different background, from a different gender, they're going to create something that we haven't seen before. That way, we look at the demographics is that we go, okay, the majority of our players base is like a white male, so we're going to make stuff for white males. But if you make something from the perspective of an Asian trans woman and it's really strong, it will work for people. People crave new stories. If you want to innovate, even to stay current, it's not about graphics, it's not about hardware, it's about opening up new perspectives for people. So I explain it as it's important to game development to diversify. It's not just part of an advocacy or activism. It's going to make your games better." Alex then says, "Okay, also, of course, gamers are mostly white guys, but if you're making games for white guys, try making games for somebody else. Maybe they'll show up." So the only way to appeal to people now is to target that coveted Asian transgender demographic. If your game does not directly appeal to Liz Fong Jones, then it even won't appeal to white guys. And that's what they're really trying to sell here. By the way, this is their logo in the bottom right. And even though I don't particularly buy into this, the old FBI like pedophile symbol thing is being swept around because it has like that spiral effect that's common here. I don't really think that's the exact same thing at all, but that's another thing that's being pointed out. People ask why Alyssa Mercant didn't mention the fact that the people involved were racist towards white people, and it's because Alyssa Mercant is this thing. I don't know what you want to call this. There's a word that jumps out to me. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I just can't think of what it is. But she says, "Hi, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in." So she got into a tism fit on Twitter and immediately called out people trying to say, "Hey, you shouldn't mention the fact that they're racist against white people." And she goes, "Actually, you can't." So the reaction to this article, by the way, was that Steam locked the group, or asked the owner or curator of the group to do something about their forums, because they said, "We're probably going to delete your curator group if you don't do something." So the owner went ahead and just completely deleted the forum so that the curator group wouldn't be at risk of being deleted as a consequence of the posts being made there that weren't being moderated. So yeah, I think they said that Valve was one of their customers too. So I'm thinking, I don't know for sure, but I think that Half-Life Alyx was also worked on by them. That's what I had seen. There was a conspiracy that they that the curator group also worked on Half-Life Alyx, so they have like direct ties to Valve. We're able to get that. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, I mean, it has been declared. The question, the interesting thing about like a Gamergate 2 now is that, number one, we're all 10 years old. Like, we're all in our 30s and 40s. All the people originally involved in Gamergate are now like they're somewhere between just turning 30 and just turning 40. You know what I mean? Like Ralph is like 38, 39. I'm turning 32 this year. So it's it's all just old people. The question is, do young people care? Where do 20-year-olds post? Do 20-year-olds post like on the internet now, or do they just use TikTok? Because I don't. Everyone seems so old. The GamerGate veterans, yeah, bro. The other thing that's interesting about GamerGate, like coming back, quote unquote, is that the media is now in a much worse position than they were in 10 years ago. Because as I mentioned, in 10 years ago, people still read like games news and shit. Now nobody trusts any kind of publication, and publications are way worse than they used to be. Like if you search something and you get like a news article, it's almost always like some machine learning generated piece of shit that only exists to advertise stuff. And it's like you Google like last epoch, how to maximize minion damage, and they go, last epoch is an action RPG set strewn across shards of time. Many players prefer the necromancer for their minion based zookeeping tactics that allow you to swarm your enemies with destructive elite skeletal and necromancer forces. Here's how you can upgrade your skeleton damage. Item A, put points into these perks. Item B, look for these modifiers on your weapons. It's like, I don't need this shit, okay? Just tell me what I'm looking for. I put out the alert that Sargon of Akkad needs to come back. Am I reading this from ChatGPT? No, it's just how every article sounds like now. You look up how to make hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is a decadent dish originating from Liege in Belgium in 1493. Famously, King Bonaparte liked hollandaise sauce on his lobster, which was called lobster Theodore. The word Theodore being from the revolutionary French calendar, which no longer is used. It's like, I don't need to know this. How do I make hollandaise sauce, you piece of shit?